sunlight. She was born to love, kiss our tears away, vanish all our fears, fill the world with joy. She's the woman of the earth, spreading love and joy, fun and laughter. Woman of the earth, making miracles forever after. Loving, caring, working, sharing, teaching, singing, mothering. Whoa, whoa, whoa. See her loving glow in a blushing flower. Watch her dreams take wings over skies so blue. She will save the earth and its every glory. She will teach her child every golden story. She's the woman of the earth, spreading love and joy, fun and laughter. Woman of the earth.
We would like to acknowledge the presence of our dearest guests here tonight. Roni Meneses representing Mandaluyong City, Louise Theunis representing CARRASCAL, SURIGAO del Sur, Marvelyn Fernandez representing Urdaneta City, Mary Gwynn Curambis representing JAGNA BOHOL, Jelina Pearl Miranda representing MABITAC, Laguna, Ina Halin representing SUAL, Pangasinan, Nuqui representing CALOOCAN City, Mia Jane Salisbury representing Talisay City, Cebu, Meleah May Moreno representing MARILAO, BULACAN, Chynna Verosil representing BUGALLON, Pangasinan, and yours truly, Catherine Tan Petasio from SUGBONGCOGON, Misamis Oriental. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Catherine Petasio, and I will be one of your hosts for today's Twin to One talk show.
Isang makakalikasang araw Pilipinas, I'm your co-host, Chynna Verosil. So I have heard a lot of good feedbacks on our talent competition, and all of the girls were really amazing.
Wow, agree ako dyan, Chynna. Yeah, super astonishing. Everything that they're wearing is actually in motion, and it's really nice.
Yes, Kath. Anyways, ano nga bang gagawin natin today, Kath? Ano ang meron? Why are we here doing a talk show?
Yes, so we are actually here today because we are going to have an Earth Talk event where girls will tackle different environmental problems here in the Philippines and abroad. However, we are going to tackle only one this time, and that's the biggest problem we are facing right now, and that's the pandemic.
Okay, so we are actually confronted with this question. Is it better to adopt a new normal and embrace change, or should we just go back with the old normal and just do our best to keep ourselves safe?
Yes, and to help us answer that, we invited guests of different professions and occupations tonight to help us unravel the reality of our situation today.
All right, so personally, I really want to know first, what is the new normal? Help me welcome everyone, Senator Roni Meneses.
Hi, Kat and Chynna. Good afternoon. And to everyone watching at home, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. So going back to your question, when we talk about the new normal, of course, this includes wearing a face mask when we go out in public, practicing social distancing. We still have curfews, limiting the number of people or customer inside a store or a restaurant. and prioritizing virtual meetings or setups instead of face-to-face interaction. So basically, it is what we're doing or what we are experiencing right now.
So, Senator Roni, do you think the government is handling the pandemic well?
Well, the government, we are definitely doing our best and trying to handle the whole situation. Of course, we are experiencing something new, something that has never really happened over how many years. So, kumbaga, pati yung government, sad to say, we were caught off guard. So until today, we are learning something new about the virus, the situation, and how we can handle everything better. But rest assured, all our efforts are going into making everything better and safer for all of us.
So my next question for you is that, are you in favor of giving incentives to encourage more people to get vaccinated?
Personally, yes, because right now our main goal is to get as many people vaccinated as possible. So besides educating and informing people about the vaccine, if there is an alternative way to encourage them, like giving an incentive, then I think it would be a good idea because other countries have actually done this and they were successful in encouraging people to get vaccinated. And so if we have the means to give incentives, then I think we should go for it.
Thank you so much, Senator Roni, for your time in this afternoon.
So, all right, this time we invited a frontliner to help us unravel the situation today, and she is Miss Louise Theunis, a pharmacist. So, hi, Miss Louise Theunis.
Good afternoon, Miss Kat. Nice to meet you, and good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon. I have a question. Is the situation in the medical field the reason why you are for the new normal?
Definitely, especially in our country, the cases are going up and down, and hospitals and healthcare workers are basically overwhelmed. For us to be able to serve the people better as frontliners, the cases need to be reduced. And for this to happen, the people need to follow the precautionary measures and protective protocols and to take care of themselves and also be considerate of others. The less people get sick, the more we can allocate the medical resources to those people who truly need it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And we know that the medical resources are limited, and maybe the best way is for us to help the medical frontliners in battling the situation. So what is your medical advice on how to take care of ourselves better?
So follow the protocols, of course. So when you go out, use your protective wear like your face mask. Always disinfect the surfaces you touch and wash your hands regularly. And of course, also stay healthy, which means strengthening your immune system by having a healthy diet, regular exercise, adequate sleep, and stress management. And of course, the latest thing that we can do is to get vaccinated.
Oh, right, vaccine. I want to know, what are your thoughts on the vaccine?
I think I know a lot of people are hesitant or have a lot of misconceptions or concerns about the vaccine. But in fact, it's a real blessing to us that we are able to have the vaccine so quick with the science and the technology we have. And all we need to do is really take that step and conquer our fear and get vaccinated, because we need to be able to reduce our numbers and achieve herd immunity so that we can slow and eventually stop the spread of disease. And especially for those who cannot get the vaccine because they cannot access it or they have weaker immune systems, such as our sickly people or the infants.
Right. So looking at the medical field, how have the practices of new normal affected our environment?
Of course, it's difficult to mitigate the environmental impacts because we're really focusing on saving lives and keeping people healthy. But that is exactly why I have mentioned that we need less people to get sick. We need to reduce our cases by taking care of ourselves and being considerate of others, because that way we can reduce the resources that we are using and reduce our consumption, reduce our waste production, and eventually we can stop the pandemic, hopefully. Hopefully that happens soon. Also, I think on our own part, even you and me at home, we can do our own little things in helping the environment by not having as many food deliveries, home cooked meals, and just trying to do environmentally friendly things at home.
Definitely agree with that. And I really would like to take the opportunity to thank you for doing all of your best in saving lives, most especially that this is a battle that doesn't choose anybody, but it's for everybody, and we have to work together. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's really our honor as frontliners to be able to serve our country and to save lives and just help our fellow countrymen.
Now let us proceed to our next interviewee. She is Miss Marvy Fernandez, and she is a tourism officer. Hello, Miss Marvy.
Hello, good afternoon, and good afternoon, Miss Chynna, and to everyone as well.
So my question for you is, what happened to the tourism of Ordoneta? What were the changes or the challenges?
Everything went down when the pandemic began. The global tourism industry had been hit so hard. The border closures and travel restrictions prevented the tourists to come. In the markets, such as in the Philippines, subsided in international tourism that took a heavy toll on local communities who depended on the industry for their livelihoods, as well as starved these countries of a vital source of foreign exchange. And in 2020, the unemployment rate in the Philippines was at approximately 2.16%. It is very devastating that even now it is still happening.
Oh, okay. So how did you adopt to the new normal?
Yes, so actually, the tourism actually are doing our best to help the people. The local tourism took this opportunity as well to plant more trees, more plants, and develop. And we also had development of the city to preserve and conserve its environmental beauty, because we want to make a wow impact on our places as well with more green sceneries and whenever the tourists will visit us someday. But as of now, we are doing our best, of course, to provide our help, most especially to the frontliners, such as free ride on a bus, help the less fortunate for their educational programs. And lastly, tourism and of course all the governments started to act aside from the implementation of safety protocols and continuous reminders to wear face masks, washing of hands, and sanitizers often. And also, Philippine stimulus law was also distributed.
So Miss Marvy, how will you help the people who are in need during this time of pandemic?
Yes, so as I have said earlier, I think in April 2020, the Department of Tourism launched the Tourism Response and Recovery Program, or the TRRP. Together with the two stimulus bills passed that year, the TRRP outlines both fiscal and non-fiscal support measures for tourism-related businesses to help them survive the difficult economic period and be ready to capitalize on new opportunities once the pandemic wanes. Of course, we are hoping that this will all end, and we are still looking forward for a better tomorrow. It is hoped, of course, that the digitalization combined with the experience of providing a safe environment for the domestic tourists will allow operators to embrace more opportunities in the new normal.
Thank you, Miss Marvy, for your time.
Now let's proceed to our next interviewee. She is Miss Mary Gwynn Curambis, and she is a student currently studying. She is a college student. So, hi, Miss Mary Gwynn Curambis.
Hi, maadjong adlaw. This is Miranda Curambis from JAGNA BOHOL and a second-year tourism student with concentration in travel and hospitality management at Cebu Normal University.
So I would like to ask, what is your take about these new mode of learning in these times of pandemic? So which would you prefer, online or modular learning?
The mode of learning in school has undergone significant change because of the pandemic. And as a result, we are given options to take either online or modular classes, in which I chose online since I am enrolled in Cebu Normal University and I station myself here in Bohol. And this is the only way accessible for me. And this new mode of learning has brought new challenges that are both a struggle and a sacrifice. It is a struggle and a sacrifice because I'm not accustomed to this. And it is not easy sitting on my couch for long period of hours, just focusing on a screen that's more or less stationary. What also troubles me is the poor connection that arises without further notice. But despite all the odds, I still consider myself fortunate, having my own internet link as well as devices to utilize for online tutoring or online classes, and have all the time to attend and answer all the activities set without being bothered on what and where to get food on daily basis is a privilege not everyone is enjoying.
All right, so what is your message to those students who have been struggling more? I know that not everyone is given the opportunity to have access to internet connection or online classes. So what is your message to those students who have a work and still has activity?
My concern is really on students who having difficulty on both online and modular classes. Students who are currently working to assist rather their parents, but still have subjects to attend and comply, neither modular class nor online. And I feel for them. They have been battling more than we realize. They are attempting to live and battle to survive to continue their studies. More than anything else, having empathy and sympathy to students to adapt and adjust to situations are highly stimulated. I suggest that for those who are for those who are troubled with the current situation, surround yourselves with good people and learn to communicate your issues. If necessary, seek for help. Don't beat up yourself with the prevailing situations. It's not your fault, not the fault of anyone.
Thank you for that. And as a student, it really resonates that you really need to. It is time to use the word help, and there's nothing wrong when you ask for help. Right? Thank you for that, Miss Mary Gwynn. Finally, I would like to ask you this question: do you agree that this education system is all about survival and not about having high grades?
Yes, it is all about survival. It is not necessary who gets the flying colors right now. In the new normal, the skills to adjust and having resiliency is a wall we must hold on. Self-study and self-discovery should be undertaken amidst this unfavorable time. Parents have big responsibility this time with the education of their children, whether academic or life-related skills. The enthusiasm to advance must be fiery.
Thank you for that, Miss Mary Gwynn. I hope that we will continue learning despite the situation. Actually, not everybody are given the opportunity to continue learning, but let us help. Let us help reach out. Thank you for that, Miss Mary Gwynn.
Thank you as well.
Okay, so our next interviewee is Miss Jelina Pearl Miranda, and she is a teacher. So, hi, Miss Jelina.
Hi, Miss Kath. Good afternoon to you and to everyone watching this live show.
So, my question for you is, what is the main challenge in the sudden shift from face-to-face class to modular and online class?
Well, ever since the pandemic happened, every learner transitioned into a new normal way of attending their classes. Students, especially those who are living in the cities, are using the internet as a substitute for face-to-face classes. However, in my part, as a small town like mine, we use a modular approach to our students since not every student can afford to sustain their everyday top up for their gadget, and some of them doesn't even have the gadgets to use, which is very essential in the new learning system.
Oh, so do you think that switching to online classes affects the quality of education?
Speaking, in some ways, it affects the quality of the education because it takes a lot of effort, adjustments, and effort for both parties. I myself am concerned about the well-being of my students, especially in terms of their quality of education. It is very difficult not being able to guide them personally. However, I am still grateful that despite what's happening right now, our parents, the parents of these children, are willing to extend their extensive collective effort for us. These parents are the key in these trying times to guide and focus on their children as we shift to a whole new normal.
So, Miss Jelina, as a teacher, do you have any message to your students?
Well, I really have lots to say to them, but children, mga anak, I know we have been through so much this past few years, especially in this time of pandemic, but I want you to always remember that this is just a passing phase. We can get through this together, and of course, just continue to study hard because you really have a brighter future ahead of you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Miss Jelina, for your answer.
So let's proceed to our next interviewee, Miss Nuqui, who will represent the Gen Z or the millennials. I'm very excited to know what are their thoughts. So hi, Miss Nuqui.
Hi, Catherine. So magandang hapon to all the viewers who are watching us today. I hope we are all safe in our home.
So I would like to ask you this question as a Gen
Yeah.
Z. How does pandemic hit you?
As a Gen Z or a millennial, I think the pandemic hits us where we feel that everything we are doing was limited. You know, in this era, we are trying to adapt into the new normal where social distancing, safety of everyone is at risk. So we need to prioritize those things. Also, we need to take precautions and we need to impose disciplines in ourselves because at this time, everything is going differently. Everything is going so hard to us. Also, at first, I find it tough, you know, because as a Gen Z, we tend to have so many social gatherings, so many parties. So it's really tough at first because, you know, the mental health and the social life as were not the same as before. But I realized that if we do these things, we can actually go back to the normal pre-pandemic life.
I really agree. I am actually also a millennial, and I really agree when you said that there are a lot of parties. We love going to parties and like this social gathering, like stuff like that. It's now prohibited, and I believe what you said that if we adopt the new normal, it will help us go back to that old way, but in a more healthier and safer way, of course. So I would like to ask this question. Overall, what were the effects of the pandemic on the Gen Z?
I think one of the biggest impacts will be our education, because everything we will reconsider our plans and ambitions because we are trying to comprehend or learning through online without actual training or proper training on the field that we are trying to take or the path we are trying to make. So we are still able, we are still reconsidering everything. Especially me as a Gen Z who is a theater actress. And the theater are now closed. I want to reconsider these things. But on the brighter side, I can take meetings and classes as long as I have a good connection, as long as I am in a good place and quiet place. I can attend classes without physical interaction, without taking my safety at risk.
Yeah, I also agree to what you said, that education is really overall the biggest, one of the biggest that has been affected in pandemic. Because for me, I personally think that our life it goes around on our studies.
Yeah,
Really,
especially in Filipino country, right?
We do.
Education is very vital.
I mean, like in our school, we have that group of friends that we used to be with because of group studies and stuff like that. So our social life is actually connected to our education, right? And right now it's now virtual, so like our social activities are also lessened because of education that is now on virtual. So
I actually remember those times na papasok lang ako because my friend used to, uy, pasok tayo because there's yung merong mga di ba, merong mga field demo sa mga school. So let's go, ganyan. So nakakamiss yung mga ganong ganap, no? I really miss those things.
Really, we could really evidently see a big change to our social life because education was changed into virtual. So finally, I would like to ask you this question.
Yeah, sure.
What does Gen Z do to cope with the situation?
Even before, diba, Gen Z, we are digitally dependent. So we are technology dependent. Oh my God, sorry.
Yes.
So everything was, even in the entertainment or communication purposes, we are using technology, our phone, social media, any type of social media accounts. But now I think the social media affects us positively because we are able to learn virtual courses like fitness training, what else? Language, we can learn those things. And I think the positive effect of these things will be even after the lockdown, we can still have these habits continued. So I think that's something we need to cope up. We are trying to cope up with the situation.
Wow, that is really one powerful answer to the question, that even though we are locked down in our houses, we can still watch a lot of tutorials online. And
we can still learn, right? We can still learn, we can still be entertained, we can still talk to our friends, we can still hold meetings.
Yes, and then I also noticed in the radio station that there are actually hours where there's this teaching going on. There is a teacher that's talking on the radio station, like for the grade school, and that is really one thing they do to cope up with the situation, and it's really nice. I really appreciate.
Yeah, it's really nice. And we are able to be creative in our home. We are finding ways to communicate, learn. Everything is going. We find ways, ika nga.
So, yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for all of your interview.
So now, for our next interview, we have Miss Ina Halin, and she is a construction company HR. Hi, Miss Ina.
Hello, magandang hapon sa iyo at magandang hapon sa lahat ng nanonood, and I'm really hoping na safe tayong lahat. Happy to be here.
So, Miss Ina, what are the impacts of COVID-19 to the construction side of the country and its employees?
Of course, there has been a lot of impacts, of course, not only to the company, but of course to the employees on different levels when it comes to our owners, the businessmen themselves, the contractors, even the local government units, and also our suppliers. There has been different levels of impacts. And of course, in the society now, if the business is not going well, especially the construction business, the economy can go down. So even though there was a quarantine, I remember we were still working. We didn't really go to quarantine immediately. So it was hard for the people, especially the employees. But and also, I remembered in the quarantine, the people or the employees themselves didn't want to stop working because they still need the money, of course. So in that way, what the company was concerned first and foremost is the safety and health of the employees, and of course, not only the physical health but the mental health.
So, Miss Ina, do you think will the construction companies as a business and especially its employees be able to adapt to the new normal?
I believe that when it comes to businesses, our power is supposed to be adapting to change. So what I'm really proud of when it comes to this business and construction, we always adapt and have been flexible when it comes to new trends. So when it comes to new normal, I believe that we were ready for it, and when anything should happen, when we should be fast in thinking and be more flexible on changes like this. So what we've done here in our company is that we have familiarized ourselves with the next normal already. We were thinking ahead, and we have to move quickly to be best positioned with both the value of the company, also for the people, the economy, and of course, we need to maintain a competitive edge.
So, Miss Ina, as a construction company HR, do you think can construction emerge stronger after the pandemic?
I believe that, of course, we always have to focus on how to overcome any problems or issues the company might be going through or this economy, because the people need us. I believe when the economy goes down, of course, especially in this pandemic, we have to keep on building hospitals. We have to keep building roads to go to people. Also, because our employees themselves also need to work. So I believe in making or to emerge in this pandemic, we have been investing in skills and skills that we need to operate, and then for the next normal or the new normal. And we have been, since that one of our problems in the construction company right now is the supply. That's why there are a lot of projects that we had to halt for this because of the pandemic. It's because of the supply, because there's a lot of quarantined areas, and also transportation has to be halted. It's not easy to get permits, and especially when it's supplies that come from other countries, of course. That's right. And yes, all we need to do is just maintain confidence in our strength as a company, our people, and of course, be flexible and just adapt to the new normal.
Right.
So, thank you for your time, Miss Ina, and thank you for your answers. I've really learned a lot from you po.
So we are going to continue with another interviewee. She is Miss Meleah Moreno, and she is a broadcaster. All right, hi, Miss Meleah.
Hello.
Hello. So we would like to know, how has pandemic affected you, your profession, most especially in broadcasting? Yeah, how?
Yeah. So nowadays, like, life adjustments often come, and we are in the new normal now. And as a broadcaster, need to adapt to withstand the long-term effect of this pandemic season. Will I need to maximize the different media platforms by having an awareness to people regarding my advocacies. Capital all the opportunities by improving interaction and engagement of media consumers in wherever network am I working. Yes, and especially now that video streaming and online consumption is increasing, so I want to use that to influence people. Well, we cannot avoid change. I believe in that, but we can take action by making most out of it. The COVID-19 limits the way we socialize and the way we connect to other people, right? And there's a spirit of disconnection.
Yeah.
And I believe the way to adopt the new normal, the new way of communicating to other people, is to create a strategy to keep the audience stay connected and entertaining and educated in advocacy that we have as a beauty queen and as a broadcaster or profession that we have. And connection is what we need right now. And create an impact to the media people by using the different media platforms that we have. I think that what's media for. It's for the voice, to make an impact for the people. It's more than just a profession for me, but it is really one of my passion to create an impact by using our voice. Well, to respond instead of reacting to the new normal and to have the power to cope up with it. You can still inspire and do your passion even behind those screens and behind those lenses.
Wow, thank you for that, Miss Meleah. And
Okay, so thank you so much for having me here.
all right, yes, thank you so much for your time and joining our live Queen Tuhan Earth Topic. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yun. Let's proceed to our next and last interviewee. She is Miss Mia Jane Salisbury, and she will represent the unemployed sector or the group. So I would like to ask, how has the new normal affected you?
Well, back when the pandemic started, I did stand with the millions of Filipinos who lost their jobs and were unemployed. Me being a creative and especially a freelancer, the creative side of the Philippines wasn't really considered as an essential worker. And I'd just like to take this opportunity to really thank all of our hardworking frontliners for keeping us alive and breathing and well during this pandemic. We are so thankful. Thankfully, in my sense, I did have a bit of savings to fall back onto, and I did have the support of my family and my partner when things weren't going so well. But unfortunately, a lot of Filipinos didn't have that. They barely had enough to put food on their table, to have a roof over their head, and in some cases, even a mask over their face. So in saying that, my heart really does go out to the millions of Filipinos that were unemployed during the pandemic and to this day are still struggling to find work.
So are you pro to new normal or not?
Honestly, I can't really choose between either or. Rather, I'd opt to go for something that's a bit more harmonious, in a sense where we're going to adapt the new normal, but we're also going to take into consideration all the lessons that we've learned dealing with the pandemic in the past year. And in saying that, I feel like we're so lucky to live in a time and age where we get to see real time what other countries are doing that have widely benefited their whole population. And in doing that, we'll be able to see and kind of apply maybe those techniques and seeing what is best for our nation as a whole. We can only go to the road of recovery when we work together hand in hand. It's a social responsibility. So please, if you can, get vaccinated when you have the opportunity. Always take care of yourself, wear your mask, your face shield, wash your hands, because again, we can only get through this time if we work together hand in hand as a community.
One last question, Ms. Mia. I would like to know, if you could talk to the president right now, what changes in new normal protocols do you want to happen?
If I had the opportunity to speak with our president about any new protocols moving forward with this new normal, it would definitely be about a campaign for vaccinations. I feel like there is so much fake news circulating. There's so much fear. There's so much uncertainty in the atmosphere. And definitely creating a campaign that openly speaks about educating each and every Filipino, not just about the pandemic, but about the vaccine and really just COVID-19 in general. I feel like that way we can have an opportunity for each and every Filipino to make an informed and educated decision when getting their vaccine, being like, okay, I'm ready to get my vaccination. I'm ready to protect myself, to protect my friends and my family, and also my fellow kababayans. So I feel like that would be a really great campaign that I'd like to push, really, if I had the opportunity to speak with the president.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and your inputs for this interview for Earth Talk event. To sum it up, we need to adapt to the new normal,
but also adjust to the ever-changing situation.
We need to wear face masks and stay home.
We need to work together in maintaining safety,
so our fellow Filipinos can continue working
and help them survive this economical and health crisis.
We need to learn to not be complacent or neglect school.
Establish behavioral changes.
And have a positive mindset towards this crisis.
If we want to go back to the normal,
we need to help ourselves.
We need to
work together for the future.
Thank you very much for joining us today. We are your hosts, Kat
and Chynna.
This has been Earth Talk event Miss Philippines Earth 2021. Thank you and
have a great day.
Listen to her voice, singing in the wind. Feel her gentle touch in the golden sunlight. She was born to love, kiss our tears away, vanish all our fears, fill the world with joy. She's the woman of the earth, spreading love and joy, fun and laughter. Woman of the earth, making miracles forever after. Loving, caring, working, sharing, teaching, singing, mothering. Whoa, see her loving glow in a blushing flower. Watch her dreams take wings over skies so blue. She will save the earth and its every glory. She will teach her child every golden story. She's the woman of the earth, spreading love and joy, fun and laughter. Woman of the earth, making miracles forever after. Loving, caring, working, sharing, teaching, singing, mothering.
We are the woman of the earth.